Hello everyone, hello peeps, welcome back to another video on the mancubs channel. It's been a long time since the last video, nearly 2 months, that's kind of crazy. 2 months since the last video, but we're back. And today we're just going to be doing a bit of a different video. We're going to be looking at my calculator collection. I'm going to be giving a little bit of a review, just talking about how I got it, why I got it and stuff. And yeah, that's pretty much it. So look, I've got my stack of calculators, massive stack of calculators here. We're going to start heading from the top, from the first ones I got to the most recent ones that I've got. So we're going to start off with the one I got for secondary school, the Casio FX85 GTX. Not to be confused with the 83 GTX, which is the solar-powered, sorry, the non-solar powered one. This is the solar powered one. So this one has served me very well throughout year 7, 8, 9. It's got quite limited functions, but at that stage, that's kind of all you need, really. As you can see, the case is kind of falling apart. Look at that, look at that. It's flexing like that. It's got a crack right down the middle. I mean, I tried fixing it with tape, but it's not really any use. But the calculator is still in good nick. Like, look at this. It's still pretty pristine, this thing. But that's pretty much the Casio FX85 GTX. Casio ClassWiz calculators are this like sort of 20, I think this is from 2017, I would like to say. They were very popular, and people still want to get them, but the CW series is kind of just overtaken. But what can I say? So after getting this one, I thought maybe I'm due a little bit of an upgrade. It's like a few years later, you know. So I actually got the Casio FX8, not nearly 80. I said nearly 80. Casio FX991EX. This is the more advanced scientific calculator. You can see it's like very similar look to the 85, but it's got a different style, and it's also got so many more functions. Like, for example, you can just hop on here, solve a couple of quadratics. Like, we've got my favorite 5x x squared plus 5x plus 6 solutions. X equals -2, x equals -3, and we got our turning point as well. What a great calculator. And another reason I got this, at the time I was really interested in different kinds of errors you can get on a calculator, and this one had so many more cool errors like circular error or cannot solve and stuff like that. I might do a video on errors in the future if I can remember them, because it's been a while. But this was one of the other reasons why I got the 991EX. And then the next couple, I'm just going to move these out of the way. The next couple calculators I got are sort of just miscellaneous ones that I picked up here and there. First of all, I've got this little fella here, the Sharp Ultimate EL240SA. Don't really know too much about Sharp calculators, honestly. It's just like a sort of pocket calculator. It's got a square root though, which I kind of find interesting. And as you can see, the battery is kind of running low. If I cover the solar panel, you can see the battery turns off. And that's going to be the same for this next calculator here, which is the Aurora DT398 dual power calculator. So as you can see, it's just sort of standard desk calculator. It's kind of gotten a bit knackered over the years though. Like, the battery's low as well, and also it's just a little bit slow. If I put 1 + 1, the 7-segment display, it needs a moment to sort of catch up a bit, if you get what I'm saying. But we've got one more in the sort of miscellaneous category. Sorry, we've got my Casio FX83 MS. So I believe this is from around 2002, 2003, and the more popular calculator at that time by Casio was the FX82 MS. So I don't know where the 83 MS came from. Maybe it's a different region. And the more observant of you lot might notice that the numbers are the wrong way, sorry, the buttons are the wrong way around. So I was opening this calculator from the back, and then like I saw you could take the numbers out. You can't, sorry, the buttons out. You can't do that on the newer Casio Scientifics. But then when I was putting it back, I had a picture, and I was like, I've got to make sure I don't put it the wrong way. But I still end up did. The numbers are fine. The operations are all wrong. If I press times, get a little divide sign. If I press divide, you get times. And here, tan, I get like that minus. Hi, I get a sign, honestly. Fraction, I get natural log. It's all completely wackadoodle over there. But that's pretty cool. There's like a really weird hack on this to get it upgraded, but that's a story for another day. I'm just gonna move these out of the way. They're less interesting than these lot, so I'm just gonna lay these out over here, and I'm gonna introduce the next thing on this list. So I didn't get this for any. Well, I mean, yeah, I just sort of fell into my hands. The Casio FX 5000F. This is from 1983, and I just really love it. Like the whole look of this calculator. Like, let me get it up close. If it wants to focus. Hello, do you want to focus on here? Maybe not. I'll just keep it down here. But generally, the look of it, and look at this, like this on button. It's just it's so tactile, isn't it? 1 + 1 = 2. Nice. And then we've even got this like contrast slider on the side. So if I want to increase the contrast, I can just go down to decrease it, up to increase it, without going like here, for example. If I want to change the contrast, you know, I have to go. Not menu. I've got to go shift menu. I've got to go down, 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 3 contrast, and then I change it there, which is a bit of a faff. But this is just such a nice slider on the side, and this has also got so many more functions that I have not explored. Don't really use this one on a daily basis, but it's super cool. This leather case that comes with as well is just amazing, and like the rubbery buttons are pretty cool as well. It's got so many functions. This calculator. It's really, really, really cool calculator, this one. So the next one, I'm just going to move these two out of the way because these two are more interesting. The next one, got our first graphing calculator on the table. I was if you're more knowledgeable, or if you're kind of aware of calculators, you know of the Casio FX CG50. The top of the line graphing calculator. We're forgetting like the CP400 and what the ClassPad series. We're just looking at these ones here. So I was looking at CG50 and it's always a bit pricey, and then I found out about the CG20, which is this fellow I've got here, this chunky boy, and it basically does the same stuff but just for a lot cheaper. If you look for a brand new CG50, like 130, 120 pounds. Second hand, even like eBay, I was looking on last night, 75, 80, 85 pounds. And obviously I don't want to bid because it stresses me out. But this is my CG50. Obviously it's a bit scratched. I got this for like 25 pounds, and it's really amazing. You can see some stuff I was doing. Color screen. Sorry, the focus is so bad on this camera. It's got so many functions. You can graph stuff. So for example, if I just why not? Let's just graph the cosine function over here. I've got it here. And also I've got a mancubs logo there. And you should also subscribe. Subscribe if you do. You see we've got a little cosine graph over there, a little cheeky cosine graph. We've got so many functions. Dynograph, like animate your graphs, table, recursion or iteration, equation mode. So this can also solve like polynomials and simultaneous equations for you. But the difference is with polynomials is this one, for example, up to 4 degrees, the polynomial degree, right? I think we'll come back to it in a moment, but this one, it goes up to, I believe, 6. Yeah, look, 6. Wow, that's kind of mad, isn't it? Simultaneous equations up to 6 unknowns, and then you can just solve like any ordinary linear equation on this. You can put files on it, put games. I've got loads of games. I've got Prizup, which is a Game Boy and Game Boy Color, I want to say, emulator for the CG series, I would say. We've got Chess, Tetrism, which is just Tetris, but for the Prism calculators. This is the Prism series, by the way. I should have clarified that. Flappy Bird, racing game, 204 fantastic game, Oiram, Mario, basically, Wordle, Outrun, KeyCasson. So KeyCasson is basically a CAS application for this otherwise non-CAS enabled calculator. But I know it's really, really powerful. Like for example here, if I can find it, like factor x cubed minus x squared minus 14x plus 24, and it gives me the factors. But I prefer not to use this. If I'm going to do something algebraic, I might as well just do it by hand. And I'll show you in a moment, but it's not really my best calculator to do that. Another great thing on this calculator, I can spend all day on this thing. Got the Physium add-in, so it literally gives you a periodic table, which is fantastic, and like details and stuff and like pictures. It's amazing, isn't it? The only issue I have with this calculator, well, it's not really an issue, but the only concern is that this one is rather slower than a CG50. I might look into getting a CG50. We can do like a side-by-side comparison, but it does literally 90% of the features. As you can see, I've still got the old interface, the dark mode interface, because I haven't uploaded or updated rather to the newest firmware. So that's why I still got that. I also, as you can see, I've got the 3D graphs add-in installed, but my OS version is not high enough because I haven't updated yet. That also means, oh, another thing, this one can't do Python. It can only do Casio Basic. I believe the only the Casio CG50 has Python. So like this one's only got Casio Basic. CG50's only got Casio Basic and Python, and then the next generation Casio CG100, which is coming out in, I want to say back to school 25. That's only got Python on it, which is a bit of a shame. But for the CG100, there's only a few like leaked pictures and like not really any documentation, just like speculation on places like TI Planet and Casio World or whatever you call them, and Chematech. So it's not really very reliable sources. Probability simulator on this, by the way. Sorry, I'm just going back to this functions. It's got so many cool things like coin toss, for example. If you want to toss a coin, it's got these beautiful animations. Or like dice roll. Look at this dice rolling animation. But I think that's enough about the CG20. It's my first graphic. It's so good. This is like, I didn't really use it much. Oh, I'm sorry, I used it a lot. And then I got some other calculators, which you'll see in a moment. But then I am using it quite a lot at the moment because let's keep it open. This is a fantastic calculator. The only issue is mine kind of smells, so I don't know if that's. I don't really care about it as long as it works. And then the following year, so this is 2023 we're in now. I got this 2022, 2023. We're gonna be. Is it 23? I can't even remember now. The next year, this CW series of scientific Casio calculators came out, so I thought let's get one. I quite the look and the function was quite subjective, but let's not get into that right now. I got the Casio FX901 CW, which is the next generation version of the EX. As you can see, very different design language. This is very like white and black with hints of blue and stuff. This one here, mostly black, accent colours of gold. And also this one is every calculator you've seen today, apart from those random desk calculators, they all have an alpha key, and this is the first Casio calculator series that only has shift, which I do not think is a good idea because everything is just more menu driven. Like, for example, right, my favorite example to tell people about is if I want to say, for example, do a factorial, right? Let's say I want to do 10 factorial. 10 shift here 10 factorial, right? And it gives you 3,628,800. If I want to do a factorial on this thing, I've got go catalog, probability, factorial, and then 10 here, and then it gives me the answer. So that's something that I'm not too keen on, honestly. But other than that, this is slightly faster than this. This is my daily driver, by the way. This is the one I use every day. Keep it in my pocket. It's a fantastic calculator. Despite all the things I've said about it, I think it's good. I've just kind of gotten used to all the quirks about it with the catalog and whatnot. Another thing I miss from the EX is just the button navigation in the menu. So if I want to change modes, right, let's say I want to go to spreadsheet, which is number 8, I can just press 8 and it takes me right there. But if I want to go to, say, equation here, what I've got to do, I've just got to navigate it using the arrow keys, like that. So equation, like that. But the good thing is that if you're in here, you just want to go calculate, press home, and then OK. So that's alright. Now I was going to check something, the polynomial degree That's maximum. So this can go up to 4 as well. Okay. So that's the 991 CW. I think it. Oh, I'm actually not sure. The circular buttons have been quite controversial, but speaking of the CW series and this new generation of Casio calculators, might be the worst purchase I've made on this in my collection so far. We've got the Casio FX92 College. I'm gonna just start moving these out of the way over here. Casio FX92 College. This is. So I can't speak French, honestly. This is the basic scientific calculator for the French curriculum. And it's got some really interesting features. So the main reason I got this calculator is for the algorithm mode, which allows you to do sort of scratch-like algorithms. I think I've got a video of something on screen right now. Go check it out. I do love the color of this minty green. The minty green design language that Casio use in France it's fantastic, honestly. But aside from that, it's kind of limited in function. I think this is due to the French curriculum putting restrictions on what functions can or cannot be in the calculator. So, for example, equation mode, you do not have the solving of a polynomial equation, only system of equation or simultaneous equation. Another thing is the lack of any sort of logarithm with another base. If I go into catalog here, we've only got logarithm base 10. So like log base 10 is 1, right? And then we've also only got natural logarithm. So like pi or something, I don't know. But the thing is, it doesn't even have an E button on here. Like, even this one, it's got E. But this one doesn't. I don't know if it's in here or not. Oh, it is in here. But I don't understand why they couldn't have just put it on the calculator as a shift function, which I think is just kind of outrageous, to be honest. But this is my least used calculator. Actually, maybe not. I like the look of it. The algorithm feature's cool, but other than that, it's kind of just pointless, to be honest. And I spent £35 on it, which I don't think is worth it. This thing, which can do so much more, was cheaper than this thing. But moving on, one of my calculators that I have dreamt of having, I spent so many months trying to track one down for the cheapest price possible. I am paying full price for this thing. We have got the legend, the almighty HP Prime in the house. So I'm just going to move this out of the way. Got a HP Prime over here. And this touchscreen. Oh my god, this touchscreen is so nice. Oopsie daisies, I don't want to do that. Now the workflow of the HP Prime is very, 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 very different to the one of all of these Casio calculators. So much so that I find it a little bit tricky to like switch between them. But what I mostly use the HP Prime for, honestly, is graphing. I prefer graphing on this thing than here, obviously. So for example, right, if I'm graphing, yeah, let's do 1/x and 3/x like I did the other day. And it's just so easy to just move around like that, zoom in, stretch it, zoom in like that, just trace it like that. It's so nice. And then it even gives you the table of values here, like that. And another thing, I use it for CAS. As you can see, I've been solving loads of like equations on it and stuff, and like doing simplifying stuff and whatnot. This is mostly why I mostly use this for the CAS, because I prefer doing CAS on the HP Prime, which inherently has CAS enabled on it, rather than doing it on an add-in on the CG20. Because the buttons on here are just so nice, right? They're so clicky, it just feels so good. And also, as although the community, like the add-in community, is not as big as the HP Prime, there is still a few good things. Like, for example, right? I'm just gonna go here, right? There is a QWERTY keyboard add-in which I use. That's why I use light mode, because it doesn't really work very well with dark mode on this top bar here. So like, you can just type hello like how you would normally on a QWERTY keyboard, sorry, rather than trying to go shift alpha. Okay, that's lowercase. Okay, that's uppercase. And then like here, and then okay, that's a Q, and then where's the F, and then yeah, it's just a bit. It's a bit more of a faff to use the actual buttons. But that's what I mostly use the HP Prime for, CAS and graphing. although it's not allowed in exams, sorry, I use it as like a learning tool because I think it's really cool to visualize stuff like that. And yeah, I use these two in the exam. These two are my best friends, really. And the final one is a bit of a curveball, really. It's in bubble wrap because it's kind of fragile, I believe. It's this bad boy here is the product's mechanical calculator. So I'm just going to move this out of the way so I can focus on this for a moment. So this is unlike any calculator we've seen today. This is from, I believe, it's a bit hard to find the exact one, but around like 1930s, maybe like 1940s, Nazi Germany. So as you can see, it's got numbers on the bottom there, this row, and then you put numbers in like that by dragging them down. So if you put it to 0, you get this, and then you go to 9 like that, and drag it down, it gives a 9. Like here, for example, I want a 8, let's say. Okay, cool. And then I can't remember how this works, but if you want to add 2 to it, you go up like that, and then across, and then something like that. I can't exactly remember how to do it. If I do, I might make a follow-up video about it. But this is a really unique calculator in the collection. I never really discovered these mechanical calculators before, and they are kind of sick, to be honest. Like this gold color, and like this stylus with the pointy thing, and just dragging it up, it's just really tactile and it's fantastic. So out of all of these calculators, well, I mean, I've kind of already told you. I'm going to put this back in the bubble wrap because I don't want it to get damaged. Which is the one I've used the most? Obviously, I have said this bad boy over here, the Casio FX901 CW. Someone might say, like, why don't you use the CG20? It's more powerful. It's just, number one, it's kind of chunky, so I don't keep it in my pocket anymore. And number two, like, if I just want to do 1 + 1 here, right? 1 + 1, 2, right? Just right there. If I want to do 1 + 1 in here, wait for the loading. Oh, I'm not in the right mode, so I've got to find the right mode. Run matrix, and then I've got 1 + 1 here. It's just a little bit longer. So this is really good for like specialist tasks, which you need that extra power and that extra capability for. But this one just for everyday calculations, just for really simple polynomial solving, stuff like that. This is my best friend. And for those specialist tasks that the CG20 is just not well enough equipped for, that's where the HV Prime, this fella, comes out. And all the others, all of this lot and stuff, they're kind of just here for fun. Play around with them once in a while, but it's mostly just for my collection. These three are the three horsemen of what I do maths with, and that is gonna be it for this episode. A little bit longer today, nearly 25 minutes. I do hope that you have enjoyed this little look into my calculator collection, and hopefully you've learned a little bit about these calculators that I have. If so, then please do give the video a little bit of a like, comment something down below, like which one of these is your favorite, which one would you use, which one do you think looks the best, what calculators do you have? I would love to know in the comment section down below. I will definitely be doing a few tutorials on how to use some of these calculators in the future, but if you don't want to wait for that, I will leave a link down below, either in the pinned comment or in the description, to the calculator guide, which is a fantastic YouTube channel really helping you utilize the calculator for your GCSE A-level exams in the UK or wherever you are in the world. So that is going to be it for this video. As I've said, like, comment, subscribe if you want. If you want to see all the random bits and bobs of content that you'll see on this channel. And we have got some big news coming up soon, so stay tuned. The videos might be a little bit sporadic in the future, so just, yeah. But anyway, that's going to be it for this video. Thank you for watching, guys, peeps, and I will see you in the previous video, in the next video, or whenever. Goodbye.